So now you're probably thinking, here we go again. 3 parts to the Baselworld 2020 series. And this will be the final episode because latest rumors that SIHH has been cancelled might lead to some pretty unfortunate events at Baselworld this year. We don't know just yet. But this is a bit of a different episode. Part 1, we looked at a series of renders, just airing a few ideas out there. Part 2, which was even more exciting, was me taking your ideas and making them a reality. And this cross-pollinating and sharing of concepts has been a great exercise. I've really enjoyed it. But this part seems like we have learned some new information that could very much highlight what we will see changed in the new Rolex catalogue as of 2020. I was alerted to a video done by Watches and Giggles. I will link to the video in the comments section of this video. But it's very interesting. It seems like his authorized dealer let slip some information that we could take as a possible change. I will say with a caveat that he believes they might have pulled his leg on this, but the information seems very direct and clear. He is based in the United States. He went to his authorized dealer to check up on an order for a reference 214270 Explorer 1. Okay. He's been down on the list since the beginning of this year. They told him, or the manager of the authorized dealer told him, that his name was the last on the list and that Rolex has not allowed any more orders for the Explorer 1 until the end of Baselworld 2020. Of course, he was very surprised by this information, and then the dealer let slip that the same goes for the Submariner. They only have 5 orders left for the Submariner, and that is it until after Baselworld. If you needed a clear explanation that these 2 watches would change, then I think Rolex not allowing orders going in for them would mean that A, they are either being discontinued, or B, they will be modified. Then I found some more interesting information, just looking up the various reference models over time, and saw that the Explorer 1, when it was released as a 214270 reference, the first time it went from 36mm up to 39, take a guess what year that was. 2010. 10 years ago. And the Submariner case, when it received its Super Case upgrade, that was also 2010 with the reference 116610. A couple of years later we then saw the 114060 see the same change. Both watches then have seen their 10-year run. So does this then mean that the Explorer 1 and the Submariner will see a great change? It feels like the information is lining up with what we believed all along. The question is, what will they do? How will they change the watches? The Explorer 1. This is going to be a bit of a free-flow discussion. I don't have any renders to refer to, but you will be seeing them now on the screen. There has been talk often about the 39mm size and whether it was too much of a leap forward from the 36mm. Some people say that the size is too big, that the watch should be tapered down to about 38 or 37.5mm. Many who own this watch find it to wear like a 40 or a 41mm piece. So maybe, instead of just changing the whole format, maybe they are scaling down the watch ever so slightly. Maybe if they are going to the extreme, they might adjust the dial. As mentioned previously, a simple inversion of the color scheme would be fantastic. It's not unbelievable, and we could expect such a change from the family. And with a bit more thought on the subject, this is probably the most unbelievable. Imagine they incorporated the 1016 font once again. How much attraction would this watch have if it adopted the oldest styled numerals? Or maybe small touches like a red arrow hand, or the Explorer text in red. As we would expect, the change is going to be so incremental, odds are we won't even notice it. They might just taper the case and put the new movement inside it. Most of us at this point are expecting the new 72-hour power reserve caliber to be put in both the Explorer and the Submariner. Maybe that is the only change that we will see. With regards to the Submariner, we have seen that the GMT references have had quite the overhaul with their cases, now being tapered in ever so slightly. And I'm not the only one to bring out the suggestion that we will be seeing a watch that is a bit slimmer in profile. So if Rolex were to do the bare minimal with this piece, odds are they would just taper down the case, put a new movement inside it, and call it a day. And that might just be it. Nothing special, nothing to really change the presence of the watch entirely. We would see a coronet placed in the middle of the dial between Swiss made, and that would indicate that it is a new generation of watch. But then, as you might be seeing, I'm playing around with a few colors and concepts as I talk over this. You'll see various accents of brown being used, a greater highlight with rose gold used on the bracelet and around the case. There is a lot of potential for change with this watch, like incorporating a new aquamarine blue to the line. Various other shades like burgundy, magenta. But I think why this information seems correct is that both the Explorer and the Submariner would share the same movement. They are essentially the same watch, sans supercases, dials and bezel. Personally, I would really like to see the Explorer changed in one way or another, whether that is a tapered down case design. Maybe the overall diameter of the watch is brought down ever so slightly. And dream of all dreams, for enthusiasts, they reintroduce the same numerals that they used on the 1016. I would imagine between the two, the Explorer would be the one that sees the greatest amount of change, whether that is an adjustment to the dial or the proportions, where the Submariner, we would barely notice any difference. But this piece of information could be the real definer that tells us what we are going to see. And what is great is that once there is a more direct understanding of what will possibly arrive, you can hone in a lot more on the details and focus on them. Now, as we would expect, by the time Baselworld is finished, by the time these watches are released in any case, you won't be able to get your hands on them unless you're very lucky. But again, I have to emphasize, and I said this in the first part of the series, that we can really assume three things from the Rolex brand. A, they bring out something wholly new and original. B, they slightly modify the idea. Or C, they don't change anything at all. It looks like C is going to be irrelevant. At this point, B seems to be more of the viable option. Don't expect anything groundbreaking. I think that's the best way we could explain it. Many have said that these renders and these ideas, the whole prediction series, is more fun than the actual releases. But hey, it's all up to interpretation. We can't take any of this as fact. It's just a very interesting divergence of information that seems to line up with a lot of what we've been saying. And as always, your guesses on this subject is as good as mine. At this point, let's just hope that Baselworld isn't cancelled this year.